This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. We got a busy day once again, and our program is being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne. Tuesday, it is Taco Tuesday day today at all participating Taco John's of Cheyenne. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30, your exclusive home for Jayco RVs, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. And again, before the season even gets started on RVs, get a head start right now. Head on over and you're going to find some sensational deals, again, on Jayco RVs, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, and again, the home of Ray and Cindy's Place right across from Menards. And they put together a lineup of great folks, great food. Matter of fact, 3 squares. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they're open Monday through Saturday with 2 convenient drive-thrus. Chick-fil-A of Cheyenne, corner of Windmill and Del Range. Key of Cheyenne, as they're celebrating their 14th year here in Cheyenne. Our tip of the cap to AJ and Greg Miller, and again, they've got some great 2019 model year sportages on the lot. Sorrento. Matter of fact, if you haven't seen the Stinger or got behind the wheel of the Stinger, you got to check that out today. Key of Cheyenne over in Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations. Rick Flood and the great staff will entertain you and take care of you over on Vanda High, as well as the east side location at the corner of College and Pershing. Medicap Pharmacy. For all your pharmaceutical needs, I had to drop on by yesterday to see the gang over there. And again, great folks to work with. And when you get medications, let them explain those medications to you, because they care about your health as well as your safety. Medicap Pharmacy, Bluegrass Circle, next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body ×2, founded by Dick Lennox, tradition carried on by his daughter Heather, and she's done a marvelous job over on Dunn Avenue with a plethora of bays to fix up all cars and trucks. And of course, she also takes care of the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, banking done the old-fashioned way, customer service Monday through Friday just for you on Stillwater Avenue, and directly across the street at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. If you are looking for the best in Paisan cuisine, fresh ingredients always put together every day, Monday through Sunday, then you need to stop into Mondello's Pizzeria. Joe's been around for a long, long time, and he knows what Cheyenne and the area likes, and he prepares it for you fresh every day. Marv's Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. Don't forget, too, as spring will eventually get here, but if you need some work done on the heaters, maybe the water heaters as well, Marv's is there to take good care of you. 1515 Logan Avenue, a reputation that stands tall and proud here in our area. And we get things underway with our scoreboard. It's brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
NHL action for tonight. Boston Bruins at TD Garden will play host to the Carolina Hurricanes. You will also see Columbus Blue Jackets as they will travel to New Jersey to see the Devils. New York Islanders at home. They'll play host to the Ottawa Sens. Florida Panthers travel to Pittsburgh to see the Penguins. Tampa Bay Lightning, again, the NHL league leading Tampa Bay Lightning will play host to the Winnipeg Jets. That's going to be a fun one. On NBC Sports Network, Nashville Predators at home at Bridgestone Arena will play host to the Minnesota Wild. Rangers of New York travel to Dallas to see the Stars in the Pepsi Center. The Colorado Avalanche are at home. They will see the Detroit Red Wings. The Arizona Coyotes will play host to the Anaheim Ducks, and the Montreal Canadiens will travel to Staples to see the LA Kings. That's what's happening in NHL action for tonight.
On the NBA scoreboard, the Bulls and the Pacers tonight at the Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Magic 76ers at the Wells Fargo Center in Philly. at the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. The Raptors hosting the, I would say, the hot Houston Rockets right now. Trailblazers and the Grizz in the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. It's the Timberwolves in the Target Center. They'll entertain the OKC Thunder. And it's the, this game about 4 months ago, I said, you know what, we need to get a ticket for this, but who cares? Celtics and the Warriors tonight in the Oracle Arena. That will be the late night game. I'm venturing to say that will be televised this evening
on TNT.
There you go. Warriors and the Celtics from the Oracle Arena in Oaktown, California. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Jersey today.
Someone gave it to me, so again, a fan sent it in along with the Northern Colorado.
You wear it when you go down to watch one of their games. You don't wear this on Wyoming Sports Talk.
I wear whatever I want to on this show. It's my show, so I'm going to do what I want. So I figure, hey, I support the green and gold of CSU, even though, again, both of their basketball programs are in the tank as well with at least... Cowgirls doing good.
There's a common theme. Everybody you support lose. There you go. Way to go.
Warriors have won. Let's see.
Yeah, but I was on the Warriors well before you were, pal.
LCCC women's basketball. We got that contest coming up, or at least potential contest this weekend. And speaking of which, we will have head coach Brian Ortmeier in 4:30 today. No LCCC coaches show, or at least respectively. Instead, we'll just bring in head coach Brian Ortmeier, get his thoughts, preview coming up this weekend. Again, the road trip out to Scottsbluff, Nebraska for the Region 9 tournament.
They're leaving tomorrow.
They are.
Yeah. All right, and then we also have Rusty Horsley, head coach of the East High Lady Thunderbirds. He will be in around 4:10. Well, he won't be in. He'll be on via Ma Bell, and we'll chat with him. I do believe he's got practice, and then we talk to him after practice. If you missed out and you forgot about it, which I don't think we really mentioned it. We mentioned how good they were on Saturday. They were good enough to win down at Clune Arena. Again, tough place to play at the Air Force Academy. The Cowgirls were back at it again Monday night.
As I say, the Lady Falcons, where we saw the Air Force prep team take on LCCC. It's Air Force is not, especially on women's basketball, it's not a powerhouse.
Away from their...
Yeah, but even at home, they struggle. Yeah, they're not a good outfit.
But they do...
It's a team that Wyoming should have beaten, and they did.
Yeah, but the thing is with the Cowgirls, though, they got involved in the Air Force style of play. And again, it's a lull-you-to-sleep offense. Again, when you only put 59 points up against the Lady Falcons, that tells you they don't want you to score a lot of points.
Yeah, they slow things down, absolutely. But
That's
again, the Cowgirls know how to take care of it. Again, the Cowgirls right now are the third best team, or at least tied for second, at least with New Mexico. Mm-hmm. And I think rightfully so. They're going to be tested. They've been tested. They know how to overcome those odds and get over and get those wins. That's a team you should have beat, and they did down at least in Colorado Springs. And then yesterday, at least late last night at the AA, San Jose State, the Lady Spartans, another team you should have taken care of business, and you did. And right now it sets up for, at least for the Wyoming Cowgirls and Coach Joe Legursky, it sets up a monstrous game coming up, at least to end the season on the road in New Mexico and Albuquerque to see the New Mexico Lady Lobos, where That's a team you are currently tied with, at least in the Mountain West Conference, and that depends on will you be the 3 seed or will you be the 2 seed heading into the Mountain West tournament.
Right.
And again, that at least for the Wyoming Cowgirls, especially with Fresno State taking a few of their losses, right now, at least how it stands is the Wyoming Cowgirls can only finish as best as number 2 and as worse as number 3 in the Mountain West, depending on what happens this weekend.
Well, and the Cowgirls, again, it was senior night last night in the AA. About 3,000 fans show up. And again, this is a consistent theme. And here's the difference between the ladies and the guys. The 3,000 fans that actually show up in the AA for the ladies, that's real.
Well, here's a notable difference.
No, that's real.
Here's the notable difference between the two is one team's winning, the other isn't.
Yeah,
and again, the fans are saying, "Hey, we'll support the team that's winning." The other one, we don't care.
Yeah, but the one that has 3,000 fans showing up, those are actual butts in seats. The 3,000, the 5,000s, whatever you want to say for the Cowboys, those are season ticket sales or tickets.
They're not real numbers.
Yeah, they're not real numbers. Those aren't butts in seats. And again, for the Cowgirls, and congratulations first off to Joe Legursky. Earlier this season, or about a month ago, he picked up win number 300. He picks up his 20th win overall for the season. So 20-6 to this point, as they move to 13-4 in Mo West play. As you mentioned, clinched no worse than third place. So.
Again, another successful season for the Wyoming Cowgirls. It's what we expect. It's right now for the Cowgirls, where will you be seated coming up in the Mountain West Tournament, 2 or 3? Again, you do get that first round bye, essentially, since you'll have those 4 play-in games to kind of get those seedings all taken care of. So you do have a bit of a bye, which is what Wyoming's used to at this point. But right now, regular season, it's gone to what we all expect. They were finishing in the top 5. Again, one of the better teams in the Mountain West of what we're seeing so far. And the Cowgirls, right now, the true test is, yes, what will you do down in Albuquerque against New Mexico, where that is a potential team that you'll see once again in the Mountain West Tournament, where, again, everything's on the line, win or go home. We'll see what happens, especially down at the pit. But also, too, for the Wyoming Cowgirls, here we are at gut check time where you're carrying a bit of momentum. Hopefully you can get it done against New Mexico and have a little bit of friendly kind of at least movement into Las Vegas there for the Mountain West Tournament, where right now for the Wyoming Cowgirls, at least my expectations for this team is they got to make it to the Mountain West Championship game. Not necessarily win the thing, but at least get to that Mountain West
I'd
Championship
like to see them
game.
at least, let's take the baby step. Let's at least get to that semifinal round. They need to get there. No, seriously.
I think it's right now for the Wyoming Cowgirls, it's enough to get over that semifinal round. I think that's underplaying of how well this team is or how they could be. That's why my expectations is this team needs to make it to that championship.
I understand. I'm not dissing on them, but they seem to pressure themselves where they fall apart. I mean, they lose to a team they have no business losing to.
And we saw that last year
in the Mountain West Conference. And I've seen this for years with the Cowgirls. So I think they've got the hosses to do it, the lady horses. I think they can pull this one off, at least in their opening round.
Yeah.
And again, looking if they were to play today. They did honor their 6 seniors last night. Let's see, Bailey Cotton was honored last night. Marta Gomez. Clara Tapia, Sladiana, is that Rakovic or Reykjavik?
Either or.
Rochelle Tucker and Tijuana Raka, who are Tijana.
So again, you're losing more talent of what you saw last year. Again, for the Wyoming Cowgirls, especially with Bailey Cotton, with again those other entities. You're losing a lot of talent. And this is kind of that gut check time where, hey, let's make the most of it this season. Let's, try to send off these seniors in a positive way. And again, through the regular season, they've done the task, even with 1 game left to go, where even though a lot's on the line, but again, it's not the end of the world for the Wyoming Cowgirls if they lose this contest. Again, a 2 or a 3, it just means 1 better seeding, but you're still they still have that first round bye essentially in the Mountain West Tournament.
Is it safe to say though, Nick, with the reputation of Coach Joe Legursky, and again losing 6 seniors as of last night, their last home game, regular season home game. Is it safe to say that Coach Joe may be younger next year, but he doesn't have to rebuild? He actually reloads.
He should be able to reload.
For the program out in Laramie, Wyoming. And again, you think of the UConns of the world and all of those big powerhouse teams where they reload. Here in Smallville, USA, even though we may not be in the tournament, we don't know, but we're probably a good lock for the WNIT for sure. But my point is, though, Joe has had that reputation now, doesn't have to rebuild. He reloads. And again, you look at next year's team, those that are coming back, and what's possibly in the works for the Cowgirls, and you got to say, wow, things look pretty okay for next season.
Promising. I would say, again, with the amount of the talent you are losing, at least in veteran, at least seniors for this team, my expectations do go down a bit next season for the Wyoming Cowgirls. I still think under Coach Joe Legursky, yes, he does know how to reload and take care of his team and get them in the winning direction. What we're seeing right now, a 20-6 season, 13-4 in the Mountain West Conference. I don't anticipate that next season. I still think it's a team that will finish above 500, but I think right now for the Wyoming Cowgirls, this is a special season with a special group where they have a chance to do something historical, at least in that program's history, especially with the Mountain West Tournament. We'll see what happens. Right now, again, Wyoming is tied with New Mexico. At least they give them the head-to-head advantage, where Wyoming would be the 3 seed. So looking really quickly at the Mountain West Tournament right now, the 3 seed would play, again, you have that first-round bye. They would play in the Thomas and Mack at 8:30. At least during that Mountain West Tournament, they would see the winner of the 6 or 11 seed, so that would be UNLV, unfortunately. So the Lady Running Rebels, they will take on, at least right now, CSU, the Lady Rams. So you would give advantage to UNLV in that one. And for the Wyoming Cowgirls, maybe it is something where you need to fight against New Mexico, get that win here, so you can get that 2 seed to avoid that potential matchup with UNLV and the Lady Running Rebels, where, hey, as much as it's supposed to be a neutral court, UNLV, whether it's men or women, they know how to turn it up. Again, it's their home court. They know how to turn it up, and they know how to surprise a few teams. So I think for Wyoming, for the Cowgirls, this weekend does mean a lot to them to at least get that 2nd seed to avoid that matchup potential with UNLV or CSU. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and with the Cowgirls, again, it's for me
the 2 seed would see either Nevada or San Jose State. So
and again, too, just for me, it's like getting. And they've won opening games before, but it's like, get me to the semifinal, and then we'll worry about getting into the finals. I think they need to put that win one under their belt right away.
Yeah.
And again, so just say for argument's sake, it is the Lady Rebels. You got to block out that you're at Thomas and Mack. You got to block out it's their home court.
It's hard to do, though. Those fans show up and they cheer on those teams.
And I think sometimes
wins.
that the Cowgirls have psyched themselves out when they've gotten under the big stage, so to speak, at Thomas and Mack. And again, teams they shouldn't have lost to, they did.
Yeah.
So, and Joe has brought in better teams as far as I'm concerned, and they just
I think he's got a special team right now that can do
I think
at
he's
least
got a
advance
group that
on.
really came together real fast. And again, that streak was huge for him.
It's a team that has been consistent throughout this entire season. Again, it's only had 6 losses, 4 of them which came by way in the Mountain West Conference, and again, against top-level teams. So for the Wyoming Cowgirls, this is a chance for them to do something special, do something historic of what we're kind of seeing right now here in town with LCCC women's basketball. Again, advancing on. I think the season, at least for me, of where my expectations were for this team, if they make it to the semifinals and lose there, that's subpar to my expectations. I believe, under Coach Legursky, I believe in this team that it can be a team that makes it to the championship game. Not necessarily win the Mountain West Championship, or at least that tournament. Hey, that'd be extra bonus, but I think minimum for what this team needs to do, I think can make it to that championship game finally. Get over that schneid, get over that hill that has been at least a bugaboo for the Wyoming Cowgirls for the program's history, and finally do something special. Is that also, too, something that for the Wyoming Cowgirls, they need to realize, hey, in order to get an at-large bid in the NCAA without winning the tournament, we need to make it that far? Because right now, I would think for the Wyoming Cowgirls, they're a team that's probably on the last four in. They're a bubble, very, very small, bubble-ish team right now.
They would have to definitely get to the final. They would, and again, too.
Yeah, I think they are. I think
the Mountain West has a hard time even placing two into the women's
tournament. It's going to be very tough this year, but I think for Coach Joe Legursky, he realizes that, hey, we at least to have a shot to get to the NCAA tournament, at least right now, take care of business, get to that championship game, and then possibly win it against whoever will be your opponent. So, I think for the Wyoming Cowgirls, they are a lock to possibly be a fairly high seed in the WNIT, but hey, been there, did it, done it. You've already won the thing. Let's, again, get those more opportunities for this team to show what it can do in the NCAA tournament.
Obviously, that's what they're playing for. They're playing for their NCAA tournament lives here. Again, you got to do one game at a time, as they say. You got to beat New Mexico, get ready for the tournament.
Well, and we talk about RPI and all that stuff. Yeah.
Their RPI is not that.
It's nothing stellar. Yeah, it's nothing stellar. But at least for the Wyoming Cowgirls to defeat a New Mexico team that is right now ahead of you, at least has had a solid season as well in your conference, that would be a good win towards the Wyoming Cowgirls getting it done, especially on the road. So again, a lot still needs to get done, but again, regular season wrapping up very quickly for the Wyoming Cowgirls, and hopefully can continue this momentum heading into the Mountain West Tournament, which starts up next Sunday, or at least, we'll at least start up, the 10th. It will start up March 10th and go all the way through March 13th.
So, and then the guys will be following right behind at the Thomas and Mack.
Actually, that's this weekend, as I'm thinking about 7th, 8th. Yep, that'll be this Sunday. It's already here. That's how, again, my days, it feels like it's a Thursday right now. I feel like we should be heading to Scottsbluff right now.
No. But, going back to what I said, and Nick kind of jumped in and disagreed with me. Again, you think back to last year's team and the star of that team, Liv Roberts. You have to, when you are putting this team together for this season, and again, like I said, Joe reloads. He doesn't rebuild. And, again, you're thinking, well, and I'm just using one. I'm just using one piece in Liv Roberts, and you're going, wow, where are the points going to come from?
She was the centerpiece last year, and I think that was kind of a downfall for the Wyoming Cowgirls, where essentially, hey, we're relying on you to kind of carry this team, and they did, and she was able to for the most part for the Wyoming Cowgirls. But at least now, where it feels like it's a full team effort, where you don't rely on that one entity. It is a Marta Gomez, it is a Bailey Cotton. You have multiple pieces you can rely on and make it a team effort. Where hey, if you were putting double team pressure on Marta, hey, here comes Bailey Cotton to help you out, or any other pieces there for the Wyoming Cowgirls. So this is why I feel like this is a team that could do something special this season. As much as, again, we've seen the Wyoming Cowgirls in the past win a WNIT championship, already make it to the NCAA tournament, but I think for the Wyoming Cowgirls, for the state of Wyoming, the last little cherry on top, especially for the legacy of Joe Legursky, is making it to finally getting to that Mountain West championship contest, and if not, finally winning the Mountain West tournament.
Well, and again, not to be Mr. Negative Nelly here, but don't want to put the horse before the cart.
No.
So, again, they have.
I'm just saying that's my expectations.
And you got very high expectations, as do the Cowgirls.
I was going to say, is that wrong, though? Is that, again, were you. You anticipate it's kind of like the Denver Nuggets of years ago, where they were making it to the playoffs but couldn't advance it to the NBA Finals, right, or again get past that first round or whatever it was until they got rid of George Karl. It was cool and dandy. We know we'll get these postseason bursts. We know we have a good regular season, but we want that extra. We want that championship. It's, and I think the Wyoming Cowgirls are at that same spot where yes, this is, the regular season, yeah, that I love that you're 20-6 right now with the potential to go 21-6 to wrap up, but what is it going to be in the postseason? Will you finally take care of the tournament and at least get over that schneid, so to speak, and finally bring back a Mountain West tournament?
Like I said, I'm going to feel real comfortable when the Cowgirls get to that semifinal round. Then I'm going to say they got a good shot at this thing. Again, They just have this tendency not to freeze up, but things just go amiss. And again, Thomas and Mack has not been good to the Cowgirls.
I've always argued that they need to get out of the Thomas and Mack. Why
Well, they tried it in Denver here a few years back.
Well, what was the issue then? I don't understand.
The Mountain West, again, it's
How
all,
do you not do it in Denver, where again the neutral
site?
site?
It's all about money. And don't
You don't think Denver could foot a bill? Pepsi Center could
they
work?
can't put up the cash that Vegas can.
I guess.
Yeah, Vegas puts up 7 figures.
I'm just saying, for a true neutral site where the West Coast Conference goes and plays at the Orleans Arena, for T-Mobile Arena they host the Pac-12. It's all neutral sites except for whatever reason for the Mountain West Conference. We got to play it in Thomas & Mack again, where we've seen UNLV teams, whether they're good or bad, they find a way to take care of business and end up in that championship game always.
How many tournaments end up in Vegas?
What do you mean?
Well, there's not just the Mountain West that goes there.
I just said that. I'm just saying they're all in neutral courts though.
But
you don't hear Cal playing in T-Mobile Arena every year.
I understand that, but my point is though, Vegas ponies up big bucks, and you think the Mountain West Conference is going to say, "No, we're going to go to Denver." Denver's not going to give them any money. They're going to have to. They can't float half of the boat that Vegas does for
You're telling
the
me
Mountain
the
West.
Mountain West couldn't at least work with Denver, where again Denver is a hub where
should be, yeah.
Where it makes perfect sense where your headquarters are down in Colorado Springs. You have a good amount of teams right on the I-25 corridor, Laramie, Fort Collins. At least Colorado Springs, Albuquerque, they can all travel. It's not that far for Vegas to travel. Reno, it's an easy access to DIA and everyone else.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't understand why we can't move it to Denver again, make it a true neutral court.
Because it's money.
I guess.
And
I'm just saying, you're telling me
Vegas,
that Denver right now, where Denver is a growing, at least metropolis down there, where it is kind of quote-unquote the Wall Street of the West, so to speak, out there.
You're talking Denver?
That's, with the tech center and everything else.
Okay. They're also becoming a sanctuary city, too. They're kind of down there.
Keep your political crap out of this. But either way, though, for Denver, it's a city that could foot up the bill, though. If the Mountain West was at least had any guts in them to at least request the city of Denver to help them out and set up this, especially there at the Pepsi Center, where, hey, let's do this, where show the economic impact that would bring to the city of Denver. But it is what it is, and I've always been a proponent against playing at the Thomas & Mack. Why it is again? Why do you give UNLV that extra advantage?
Denver, and again, the Denver Visitors and Convention Bureau, along with the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Well, I get Vegas is going to be very lenient. They don't care. Vegas is used to stuff like this, where they host all over.
And Vegas has more to offer than Denver, Colorado does. Because you're not going to be in Las Vegas. If you go to Las Vegas for one day, then you're nuts. You're going there for the whole tournament package, whether it's the ladies or the guys. And you're there for 4 or 5 days. Denver doesn't offer the bright lights of Vegas.
I get that.
I mean,
it's nothing wrong with that, but I think it's something that the Mountain West needs to address.
I would like to see the actual numbers that are tallied up from tournaments that are held there. Was it the Showboat? I can't remember, or not the Showboat.
What are you talking about?
Well, where the Pac-12 was having theirs at.
All I know is it's now moved to the T-Mobile Arena at this point.
Okay,
but,
well, my point being, though,
I mean, your venues right now, at least in Las Vegas, are the Thomas & Mack, the Orleans Arena.
Orleans.
Also, too, you would have Mandalay Bay, where they do host. You could potentially play games. I think one conference plays in MGM Grand right now. There's multiple venues, and I think for the Mountain West, you have those options. Granted, is it going to cost? Is it going to be cost-effective for the Mountain West Conference? That is also to a question. Obviously, again, it's all about the money, but right now, it's something what we saw last year at least with the state tournament here in the state of Wyoming with Casper Kelly Walsh playing host. And guess what? On the boys' side, those Trojans upset Cheyenne East, where again you got that home court. And again, UNLV, we've seen it. Whether it's not a consistent thing, but UNLV does take advantage of playing in the Thomas & Mack. They're used to those locker rooms. They're used to that court. They're used to those baskets. They're used to everything there, where it is a slight advantage for
let me ask you this, and I know we need to get to a break here. My point is, since we hosted it many, many years ago when I was on the floor doing the PA, the WAC championship, and every city got a chance to host it. in the Western Athletic Conference. So my question is, should the Mountain West Conference offer that up on the table, where this year it's in Vegas, next year it goes to San Jose, just for argument's sake. Then the year after that it goes to the Air Force Academy. No, I'm just saying, everybody should have a piece of the pie.
I think of what we're seeing here in the city of Cheyenne, where they're moving these teams to neutral sites, especially with Story Gym. I think that's what you need to do, though, especially for a Mountain West tournament where you give no team an advantage. You give no one at least that edge up in that tournament where it is you're playing for playoff bids, you're playing for NIT, you're playing for the NCAA tournament where you should not get any extra bonus. You need to figure out where, hey, Denver or somewhere in Vegas, whether it's, you host it in San Francisco at the Chase Arena or something like that. I don't know at this point, but you need to find that neutral site where no team has that real advantage.
Well, again, Vegas.
Like I say, I don't. Why is it the West Coast Conference? They play in Las Vegas, but they, no team has an advantage. They're playing at the Orleans.
And again, Vegas ponies up the money, so the West Coast Conference says, "Yeah, we'll be more than happy to go." So no one's going to argue with that. But I remember days, back in the day, it was in Moraga, at St. Mary's. I mean, everybody had a chance to host it. It's,
I don't think that's a good idea. I still believe the neutral site. I still believe, why not Denver? It makes sense. Denver is your beloved Mountain West area.
If I remember,
a growing
Denver,
metropolis that is bringing in loads of money. It is pretty much California
But I
Part
remember
2 down
when
there.
they had the tournament in Denver, it wasn't all that good. It was not that well attended, and that's just where I'm going to
The
leave
Mount
it
West
there.
one is not that attended, at least well attended. At least the games that I saw there, especially for the women's tournament, no one really showed up.
If they show up for the guys, though.
I didn't see great crowds even for when Wyoming was up to bat. You had the Wyoming faithful, but it was not where the Thomas Mack was 100% full, let alone that lower bowl was full.
Yeah, very, very rarely they're going to fill that thing. But I'm just telling you, Vegas ponies up the cash, and everybody's pretty happy with it, especially the Mountain West Conference. All right, we do need to take a timeout. We are going to be right back after these words on 1480 KRAE.
Let First Education Federal Credit Union help make buying your next car a breeze. At First Education, you get competitive rates and deal with friendly local folks. Be in control by getting pre-approved and know what you have to spend before going to the dealer. Call 432-7400, go to firstedfcu.com, or visit us in person at 120 West Carlson Street with approved credit, membership eligibility required, federally insured by NCUA.
Why do we work all hours of the night? Head towards challenges instead of turning away, and work together to solve the toughest problems so you can enjoy the little things and all the big moments life has to offer. Tri-State and High West Energy. Brighter, stronger, better together.
Cheyenne's oldest coin dealer and supplier, The Coin Shop, is proud to serve the community since 1982. Trade or sell your gold, silver, and other precious metals. Visit with David and the knowledgeable staff for a fair and honest assessment of your valuables. Located at 510 West Lincoln Way. Call them today at 778-7196 to schedule your personal consultation.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
Check out this simple math equation. Add new games with new fun, and it equals new ways of winning at Wyoming Downs. Check out the newest simulcasting games on display today featuring Great American Buffalo, Midnight Wolf, and Kiss Me I'm Irish to go along with more exciting simulcasting games in play. Remember to get your player's card to enjoy triple points on Sundays and double points on Mondays. Also, Fridays and Saturdays, play Mystery Moolah. Plus, check out all of the other promotions going on every week at Wyoming Downs, with 2 locations to have fun in the Cheyenne Plaza at 3617 East Linkaway and at the Outlaw Saloon at 312 South Greeley Highway. For more information, go to wydowns.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 29. For tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 11. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly cloudy once again with a slight chance of snow with highs around 41. And on Wednesday night, it'll be cloudy with snow likely with lows around 19.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing!
And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Before we check on the hoop polls, I wanted to mention a couple of things here. Did you know, Nick, that Bryce Harper, and I'm surprised you haven't got one unless you've already ordered yours.
What?
Bryce Harper's Philadelphia Philly jersey in 24 hours, one of the biggest, fastest sellers ever.
Probably.
$119.
Doesn't surprise me.
$119 that the Phillies are offering that online. Think about this. This is just me.
Well, that's just the generic kind of
I know,
replica.
but just think about this right now. Philadelphia can get their money back by only selling 2.7 million of those jerseys, and they'll get their $325 million that they paid
Well,
for.
the Phillies are not getting the whole 119.
I'm just saying,
that divvies
no.
up between other entities.
I know, but I'm just saying that would be. And again, in Philly, I'm sure everybody's going to have a Bryce Harper jersey by the time the season rolls around.
I'm happy with my Roy Halladay one, so I'm not going out to
Okay, you're not going to get anything from Philly. All right.
No.
Have you been has somebody tell me that they have followed the Alliance of American Football? Have you followed it?
Not really. We've been more busy with basketball. And again,
I understand that.
If for me, it's semi-pro football. I could care less for the Canadian Football League. Could care less when there was NFL Europe. The same with the AAF right now, where it's semi-pro. It's so under the NFL umbrella. It's something that I don't really care about. The only semi-pro that I actually have some vying interest in, and it's something that is very entertaining, is minor league baseball. I think with MILB, what they do is a good product. I enjoy what the AAA, the AA, even hell in the rookie ball leagues that are around here in the state, at least here in the Western states. But football, I've never got into it of semi-pro. Basketball with the G League now, don't care about it. NHL, I'll even give NHL. I like the NHL with the ECHL, with the AHL. Again, those minor league systems, that is kind of fun. But yeah, AAF, I know of what's going on, but do I care? Not really.
Well, you look at a team like Orlando, which is perfect right now. They're 4-0, and they're scoring about 30 points a game, and they're giving up about 20. I mean, that's the only team that's actually scoring any points. Other than that, they're 20. They're more defensive teams than they are offensive. But
don't know what to say.
Yeah, I was just wondering.
I don't really care at this point.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you were following.
No.
All right, the polls are out, and really no shockers. The only shocker will be if they get eliminated in the first round, which they possibly will. They have that tendency to do that. Gonzaga, or as Nick calls them, Gonzaga. Gonzaga is the number one team right now, and Virginia is the number 2 team. And again, this would be in the AP as well as the Men's USA.
Good for them. But for those top 2 teams, again, for Virginia and the Bulldogs of Gonzaga, it's a situation you don't trust either of those 2 teams. We've seen the Bulldogs be number 1 before, and then they ended up getting eliminated before the Sweet 16. I have no trust in either of those. Sure, congrats, for the Zags. You do this. It's like the Wyoming Cowgirls. we expect you to be great during the regular season. You're like the Golden State Warriors right now where, the regular season doesn't mean anything. You have no competition.
But they're not going to win it all.
I don't believe I don't believe the Zags will win.
I think they stumble along the way. We already know Virginia's not going to win it all.
I give, for whatever reason, I give the Zags a benefit of the doubt. And I would this year, especially where they did have a quality win. They've had a few quality wins, especially when they took care of business against Duke. Zags, I think they have good enough talent. They usually have good enough talent every year in and out under Mark Few, but right now, the Zags, I have confidence, especially in their non-conference, of what they did and who they took on. I like their chances. They're not winning the national championship. There's no way. There's no way at all. But to make it to an Elite Eight, to a Final Four, I feel better about this team than I did last year for the Zags. Mm-hmm. But it's still a team that is playing in that West Coast Conference does not help out Gonzaga at this point.
Not at all.
It's, BYU, you beat up on them. Your only real competition is St. Mary's, and they're kind of iffy. The Dons of San Fran.
Santa Clara used to be good.
Yeah, they're pathetic. It's, that conference does not help out any time, at least any way, shape, or form for the Bulldogs. So, but I have confidence, though, that team could make it to an Elite Eight, to the Final Four, but not championship quality. Virginia, the Cavaliers, no. After what happened last year, I would be surprised if they make it past the second round. I have no trust, no faith at all in Virginia. It's a team possibly can make it to the Sweet 16 if they're lucky. Well, they always find a way to shoot themselves on the foot come the NCAA tournament.
And we had a lengthy discussion yesterday about the Wolfpack, as they are the only MoWest team in the top 25. They drop to number 17 on the AP side. They're number 18 on the men's USA side.
That's a long fall from where they were number 5.
Yeah, Utah State, however, is starting to raise some eyebrows.
Well, yeah, they should absolutely.
On the AP side, they, right now they would be sitting at about number 29.
It is a team that is on the bubble, and I think will make it to the NCAA tournament if they take care of business this weekend and make it pretty. I think for Utah State to have 2 teams from the Mountain West, Utah State at least needs to make it to the semifinals. I don't think they need to make it to the championship game. No. I don't know.
I think everybody kind of crowned Nevada,
Well, they're still going to. I still think they're going to be champs. There's no doubt about it.
What I'm saying with Nevada, though, the thing is, I think the NCAA already has them in.
Oh yeah, they're guaranteed.
Where Nevada was going to be at earlier, when you said when they were number 5, they were going to be a 1 or 2 seed somewhere.
This probably helps out the Wolfpack again, falling down the ranks where, you don't have all that pressure on you of being a 1 or 2 seed or 3 seed. All right, temper back to a 4 or 5 where
but they're not going to be out west. I bet you they're going to stick them like in the south.
Well, we don't know. Again, anything and everything can happen.
I think actually Utah State, if they perform well in the Mountain West Conference tournament, and just say for argument's sake, either they win it or I think they're going to end up out west.
No, I think Utah State is going to be that team where, like Boise was treated of, all right, here's that 11 seed playoff, at least playing game, have fun Aggies. I think that's what's going to happen with them. Similar to what we saw with the Broncos last year. That's what I anticipate for Nevada. I still think that selection committee for the seeding is going to be very favorable to the Wolfpack of going, hey, you were good this entire season. You tripped up in your conference play. It's bound to happen. We see it with every team right now, again, whether it's Tennessee, Virginia, Duke, you're all going to have your hiccups during the conference season. It's very rare that you go undefeated in regular season play. I think Nevada should be a lock. Well, they're going to be a lock in the NCAA tournament. Seeding, I give them right now where I anticipate the Wolfpack, I'd say a 5 seed. And they'll be out west.
I was thinking about a 5, maybe.
But I think they'll still be out
west. 5 or 4 at best if they win the Mountain West Conference.
That's the difference, though. I think Utah State, though, is going to get disrespected a bit. As much as they're a talented bunch, they're going to be in that first round contest of that playing game of those 11 seeds.
No, I don't. I think if they do,
I think they will.
No, I think if they do well in the Mo West tournament, and again get to the finals, I think they're in. I think they're going to come in as about a 12 or 13 seed.
I give them more benefit of the doubt, though.
They're not going to be a playing team.
They will be. No. They'll be like Boise State last year, or where they were placed at. It's going to be that situation. I have a feeling that Utah State, the Aggies, will be placed in that just due to the fact of, well, the Mountain West around you, it's not that great, especially with Wyoming holding you down, with San Jose State, with CSU, a lot of teams holding this conference down at this point. Utah State's going to get disrespected.
Well, we agree to disagree, okay? Let's just leave it at that. All right, let's see what's going on the ladies' side. No surprise with Baylor.
They've
being
been
the number one team. Holy cow!
Yeah, the Lady Bears are keeping things going down there in Waco.
You know the interesting part, and usually when you read the women's top 25, it's always Gina Auriemma's team.
I was going to say it's usually UConn who's at top. It's usually Notre Dame.
They proved themselves to be mortal this
Stanford
year.
Is usually a team that's up there, but they've kind of trickled away. Tennessee, the Lady Vols are they used to be that powerhouse, but kind of. They're trying to keep consistent.
Who snuck in there this year is Oregon.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Oregon's number 6 right now. Let's see. I'm just seeing if anybody else is receiving votes. How about South Dakota and South Dakota State? They're like, they're right behind UCLA, 26 and 27 right now. And then you look down for Mo West, and
Boise State would be your only team that it would.
And they're not even there.
No.
Wow.
Does that surprise me? No. I think the Mountain West Conference, where you have 4 teams that are good, the rest is, quote unquote, kind of garbage right now. Right now, does that surprise me that Boise State's not receiving at least other
Any
votes?
love? Yeah.
No. Well, because it goes against the Mountain West.
But here's Boise State. They're 24-4. Okay. UCLA.
But you're going to look at, again, who have you played against, especially in the Mountain West Conference.
I understand that, but I'm just
saying. There's only 4 teams that are above 500.
Look at this, though. Here, just giving you a couple what-ifs. And, again, they're from the Pac-12. You got number 20, Arizona State, 19-9.
All right.
And you got UCLA bringing up the rear at number 25. They're 19-11.
So, with Oregon, that's
Boise,
3 top 25 teams there.
Yeah. Well, I can go Oregon State's in at number 11.
All right, that's
4. Let's see. You said Stanford's number 7.
Yeah, 5.
Okay,
so 19-11 for a Pac-12 team that is taking on top 25 other teams within their respective divisions or conferences. Does that surprise me? No, because they're playing against very top-level talent that obviously coaches and AP, at least voters, are at least respecting. For the Mountain West, like I said, you have 4 teams that are above 500. The rest of the conference is complete garbage. And that's where the voters, the coaches, polls, and everything are going to see of, hey, Boise State, yes, congrats. You're doing fantastic.
Well,
Wyoming, you're 20-6. Congrats. But you're getting those wins against not
this
great
hurts
talent.
the Mountain West, like we said. One team for sure gets in, the winner of the Mountain West Conference tournament, and a Boise State. Let's say Boise State gets beaten in the tournament. Wyoming wins, and they beat Boise State.
I think Boise has a good shot. They might be a very low seed.
They're going to be,
They might be a 15-14 seed.
But it goes back to what I said. The Mountain West always gets disrespected on the ladies' side.
Well, and that's to be expected of, where you need those other teams below you to up their game, up their level of play. That would include with CSU, San Jose State, some of those bottom dwellers. UNLV needs to get back on the schneid, the Lady Running Rebels. You need that conference to be like a Pac-12, where you are taking care of business in non-conference. You are getting those big wins to at least help that conference out, and also to taking care of business. But for the Mountain, I'm very interested to see for the Mountain West winner, where you get that NCAA automatic bid. Will that winner be somewhere in the teens of representing, even though they've won that conference, whether it's Boise, whether it's New Mexico, whether it's Wyoming, those 3 possibilities, and on the fringe, Fresno State. But you wonder if they're going to enter that NCAA tournament, kind of like what we saw a few years ago with Idaho, the Vandals, at least the Lady Vandals, where they won the WAC, but they entered in the NCAA tournament as a 13 seed. And you wonder for the Mountain West winner, they're going to be somewhere in that same vein of a very, very low seed.
Well, and you look here at the first 35 teams, and again, there's only 64 teams in the women's tournament. There's nobody from the Mountain West Conference. So I'm thinking right now, the winner of the Mo West is going. a Boise State on the outside, a bubble. If they make it to the championship and lose, they would be the bubble team.
I think for Boise, for New Mexico, for Wyoming,
Mountain West is going.
I think if Wyoming were to win the tournament, Boise making it to the championship game, if they lose in a respectable fashion where, by a few points it's a nail-biting contest there in Las Vegas, I think the committee's got to realize that of saying, hey, Lady Bronx, you kept it consistent this year. You made it to the championship game, and then you got surprised by another good, at least, team in your conference. All right, here's some respect. You'll have to earn it by being a 16-15 seed, but here you go. And I think Mountain West on the ladies' side has that shot of having two teams if things go in the favor for those top 4 teams, or at least top 3, in my opinion, with New Mexico, Wyoming, and Boise State. That's your only way. And I think the Mountain West, it's a long shot, but I think it could be a possibility.
And again, I'm going to disagree. I just think because the way the scheduling is, I know the teams that we play, and in the Mountain West, as you mentioned, only 4 teams that are really with records really worth talking about. You're going to have one team in, unless one of those 3 teams, Fresno State, New Mexico, Wyoming, get to that championship game and win it. Does Boise State possibly get in? But if Boise State wins it, you're going to have 3 teams in the WNIT. We do need to take a timeout. We are going to be back with more of Wyoming Sports Talk today after these words.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned, full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy, we'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Emergencies can happen anytime, and Mars Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, available 24/7, is here to take care of them in the quickest possible manner. Mars Plumbing and Heating provides the highest quality service for all your plumbing and heating needs. So if you need bathroom remodeling or a commercial heating contractor for your latest building project, Mars Plumbing and Heating will provide you with the most dependable service at a reasonable price. You can always count on Mars Plumbing and Heating. Give them a call at 316-7634. That's 316-7634. In life, you question everything. The same should be true when it comes to managing your wealth. What are your investment recommendations based on? How much are you paying in fees? And how can those fees impact your returns? Charles Schwab encourages investors to get engaged and ask tough questions. To learn more, call the Schwab Cheyenne branch at 307-459-0998 or visit schwab.com/Cheyenne. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC. Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Our Super Radio buys heard only right here feature Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey Whiskey, 1.75-liter bottle, $32.99. Keystone Light or Ice, 30-pack, 12-ounce cans, $18.99. And Black Velvet, 1.75-liter bottle, $12.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader. Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI-FM and 1480 KRAE AM, are just that, local, serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 29. For tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 11. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly cloudy once again with a slight chance of snow with highs around 41. And on Wednesday night, it'll be cloudy with snow likely with lows around 19.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480, KRAE.
So they signed him in Los Angeles to play hoops, and their playoff hopes are fading. LeBron James can't do it in one season with the Los Angeles Lakers. Now there's talk about shutting them down if they don't make the playoffs, but I don't think he wants to do that.
If you've seen his recent highlights, I think it was a game against either the Kings or actually, I think it was a contest against New Orleans, against the Pelicans, where LeBron's kind of playing like he doesn't care at this point. He's playing half speed almost, where there were key plays, and again, who knows what was happening in those contests, but you could see LeBron just not going after rebounds, just allowing players, again, on the defensive side where he's guarding, just kind of gives up and just goes, have at it.
Hey,
go drive the hole. Who cares? Right now, it seems for LeBron that he doesn't care. He's on the same vein of the Lakers right now, of a team that is pathetic, a team that is not making the playoffs, where he just it's going back to that selfish LeBron of, well, it feels like it's all about
him. He wants Walton out of there. I mean, there's so many intangibles to go along with this, but you know what? The Lakers got exactly what they deserve, and I'm glad they are not. Again, they're fading. They're not technically out of it, but
they're about to deserve even more, as rumors are at least swirling, or it looks like it's going to be a possibility. But Carmelo Anthony will come out of his little hiatus to join potentially the Los Angeles Lakers as well too. So they're looking to add veteran presence.
This can't be a better present to me than anything.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there, but it's looking like all indications are that Carmelo Anthony will become a Los Angeles Laker. So we'll see what happens with those developments. But the Lakers, it's a team where you thought that they were going to elevate themselves and be a playoff team.
They got more wins than last year.
Yeah, good for them. Who cares? But for me, I thought the Lakers were at least a 8 seed, a 7 seed, a 6 seed. It was not going to be the top echelon Western team competing with Houston, with OKC, with now Denver, with the Golden State Warriors. But it was a team that was going to flirt to get back in the playoffs. But this is a team that is, yes, it's improved, but it's a slow improvement that I think is shocking a lot of Laker fans.
Well, and you said the key word there with the Warriors. And again, we got to get to the top of the hour here, or we're at the top of the hour. But with the Warriors, they add Kevin Durant. They had already won a title prior to Kevin Durant joining the team.
Yeah, it was just added bonus.
And then they add Boogie Cousins,
added bonus,
who will solidify them.
Yeah,
and they'll be ready for the stretch run. Will they win this year? Don't know.
But I mean, there's nothing less than they can do.
All of the pieces.
That's what they're expecting.
All the pieces are in place. Hey, they get Bogut. They got a capable backup down the stretch.
Well, we know what to expect out of Bogut. Again, Bogut was part of those championship, at least one of the championship teams. So you know what he brings to the floor.
But the Warriors are able to put the chess pieces on the board and play every move that you make. Where the Lakers said, hey, we're going to give this guy a bunch of money, we're going to the playoffs. It didn't happen. Yeah. It just didn't happen.
Well,
and you know what? Next year's not a lock either.
And
Nick.
It fooled all of us with that, again, with LeBron moving over to the Lakers, where, all right, you have a young team, a talented team. Yeah, they're not winning games in the Pacific, but, it has promise. All right, let's add a LeBron James, and he elevates any team that he's on, whether that's the Cleveland Cavaliers that were depleted and had nobody except for LeBron James. It's very surprising. Obviously, Laker fans are very surprised. And will LeBron be shut down? It's probably a smart decision by the Lakers. I don't think they have a prayer to make it to the playoffs. They're not in playoff mode. LeBron is not in playoff mode.
And the West is that much better than the East.
Yeah,
and
I think LeBron is realizing that, hey, I got to actually play here.
And King James is still King James, but he can't carry this team on his back.
No,
It just
not in this conference.
Not in Showtime. All right, we do need to take a timeout. We're going to come back. Hour number 2. Also in this hour, we want to mention we're going to talk more hoops. We have Rusty Horsley, head coach of the East High Lady Thunderbirds, as they will be in action coming up Thursday at the state tournament. And speaking of tournament, Region 9 tournament, we'll have Brian Ortmeier join us at the bottom of the hour. We're back after this.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local. It's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today being brought to you by Mars Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue. Suite D in the Greenway Commons, open Monday through Sunday. First Tier Bank directly across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Lennox Auto Body with the main auto and truck repair center on Dunn Avenue. The Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs. Same location as always, Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank ×2, the original location on Vanda High, and the east side location at the corner of College and Pershing. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, serving up 3 squares Monday through Saturday. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30, your exclusive home for Jayco RVs, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. Taco John's, what a great day at participating Taco John's. It is Taco Tuesday, and we get our program underway with our scoreboard, and it's brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We first go to Nick and his scoreboard.
NHL action for tonight. Boston Bruins at home at TD Garden. They will take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Also, too, will be the Columbus Blue Jackets. They'll travel to New Jersey. They see the Devils. New York Islanders at home. They'll play host to the Ottawa Sins. Florida Panthers, they will travel to Pittsburgh to see the Penguins. The league-leading Tampa Bay Lightning will play host to the Winnipeg Jets in a fun one. Minnesota Wild travel to Nashville to see the Preds at Bridgestone Arena. That game will be national TV on NBC Sports Network. Dallas Stars at home. They'll play host to the New York Rangers. Detroit Red Wings will travel to Mile High City. Denver, Colorado to see the Colorado Avalanche at Pepsi Center. Arizona Coyotes playing host to the Anaheim Ducks, and the Montreal Canadiens, they'll travel to Staples to see the LA Kings. That's what's happening. NHL action for tonight.
On the NBA slate, it will be the Bulls and the Pacers at the Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Magic 76ers, they will hook up in Philly at the Wells Fargo Center. Raptors hosting the Rockets tonight in the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. At the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee, the Memphis Grizzlies entertaining the Portland Trailblazers, the OKC Thunder on the road in Minneapolis to take on the Timberwolves and the Golden State Warriors tonight. As Nick mentioned earlier, that will be the TNT game.
Well, there's 2 TNT games.
Well, but this is the main. This is the big daddy tonight. It will be the Warriors and the Celtics tonight from the Oracle Arena, Boston and Golden State, which a lot of folks are saying could be a preview of this year's NBA championship. Could be.
I guess.
It won't, but it could be. All right, our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen,
Urological to give you the highest quality urinary care. Now offering the latest in robotic surgery. Call Cheyenne Urological at 635-4131. That's 635-4131.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. They have a 16-month CD at an annual percentage yield of 2.33% and a 27-month CD at an APY of 2.74%. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. MHP is a certified public accounting and consulting firm located in Bow, Cheyenne, and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151. 10 years ago, the Department of Defense selected High West Energy to provide electricity on F.E. Warren Air Force Base. For a decade, we have been proud to work hand in hand with the Air Force leadership to ensure we provide the base with the affordable, reliable power it needs to be an economic driver for the region and serve a vital national security interest for this country. High West Energy, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 29. For tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 11. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly cloudy once again with a slight chance of snow with highs around 41. And on Wednesday night, it'll be cloudy with snow likely with lows around 19.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Proetti along with Nick Proetti, and we bring on our special guest, head coach of the East High Thunderbirds, the number 2 seed coming out of the East, and that being head coach Rusty Horsley. Coach, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Coach, let me ask you one of the questions before we get into all of the hoopla of the state tournament. The dance that you are very familiar with, especially on the ladies' side. Let me ask you the obvious question. What was the difference in coaching style this season for you, having coached the East High Lady Thunderbirds for many years and then stepping on to coach the boys' game this year?
You know, to be honest with you, a lot of the same stuff that we've always done. We still run a lot of the same stuff. We still do, you know, a lot of us came over, you know, 2 other coaches came over with me. So we still do a lot of the exact same stuff. You know, they told me basketball is basketball, but I really didn't believe it. But it is very similar, you know. And the boys, I think they've transitioned into it pretty well. I mean, they've been doing a good job. And they're, you know, if you have kids that work hard, I think you can do some good things.
You know, you still have hopefully 3 more games to deal with, and hopefully those will all be on the winner's side. Looking back on the season, barring a little bit what happened during the regional tournament, just your thoughts on how the guys played throughout the course of the season.
Well, I'm really proud of our boys. You know, I think I thought we'd start off a little bit slower than we did. We actually had a pretty good run. You know, we've lost 3 games. One I think that, you know, we possibly would want to get back. But with the 2 with Sheridan, you know, they're just a great team. And, you know, we're going to have to make some adjustments if we get to see them again. They're just a really good team. But I thought we'd start a little slower than we did. But to the kids' credit, they did a good job.
Let's keep on that theme with the Sheridan Broncs, where you saw that team in the championship game on Saturday there at Story Gym, where they got the better of the Cheyenne East. But what makes that Sheridan team so special right now, where they are going to be representing at least the number one team out of the East Regional there up in state tournament? What makes that team just so potent? What makes them so just dangerous right now on the basketball court?
Well, they shoot it really well. They're really big. They got every piece of the puzzle. Their guard play is really good. I think they're, a real mentally tough team. They got the whole team there, and they shoot it extremely well. But if they do miss, they're pretty big and they rebound well, and their effort's good. So they're a handful.
They kind of remind me a little bit of the old Gillette teams, where they had, a big enough guy in the middle, but they were solid, 6'5", 6'6", and they had some good guard play, but they could hurt you everywhere on the floor, inside, outside. I mean, this team, to the Broncs' credit, they are the total package for high school.
Yeah, they really are. I've really been impressed with them, and their effort's always there. I kind of. They have the eye of the tiger, every one of them. And I think a lot of that comes from, they played in the state championship last year, so they've been wanting to get back there all year. They've been thinking about that. And they do. They have a really good power forward. They got a good shooting forward. They got two bigs that are really good. Their guard, Bauer is exceptional. And they don't miss very many shots from anywhere.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Nick.
I was going to say, at least the fortunate enough thing for you, Coach, though, for at least that Sheridan squad, especially now moving at least to this upcoming weekend there at the state tournament up in Casper, Wyoming, at least for Sheridan, they're on the opposite side of the bracket. So if you see the Broncs, it'll be either in the championship game on Saturday. But just give us at least your thoughts on the matchup coming up this Thursday as Cheyenne East, the number 2 seed out of the East. You will see the number 3 seed, Star Valley. Star Valley team that has had notoriety down in Class 3A. They have been moved up to Class 4A and had a another successful season out there in the Western Conference. But what do you know about the Braves of Star Valley?
Well, I think they're going to have tough, gritty kids that will compete at all costs, and I know that they're going to get after it on the defensive end. And, Star Valley has just always competed really well. When I was coaching the girls, we had them the first round of the state tournament, and we beat them by 20 earlier. That game was a pretty good game at state, So I think they'll step up their game a little bit, and their season's on the line just like ours, and so it should be a good game.
Rusty, you look at the West this year, and I'm not putting down the West. Don't take this wrong. Aside from Casper, Kelly, Walsh, it seems to be a little down this year. With Star Valley, Green River, and even Evanston. You would kind of hang your hat on advantage to the eastern part of the state for the opening round.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you think about it, like with Thunder Basin not going to state, I think they're a pretty good team, and so our regional tournament was pretty scary. And if you look at the scores from when the West played the East, I think the East has gotten the better of the West. But during state tournament, it only takes one game, so you can't really you can throw all that out, I think, and hopefully, we play hard, and that's about all you can ask for.
Rusty, and let's go back to the regional tournament because we had Eric Westling, and you're, the young man that took over your program. Let's look at the regional tournament this year where it was double elimination. Your thoughts on it? Because, again, you've had that luxury during your tenure as the ladies' head coach to sit back and play on Friday instead of playing on Thursday. But this one was kind of like a nail-biter type of tournament.
Yeah, it is. It's when you're a 1 or 2 seed, in the way it used to be, you could relax Thursday night at least, and then you knew even if you didn't play that well that you were going to the state tournament. And you could make a run from there. The way this is, you never know. You got to lose 2 games, but for the 1 and 2 seed, I think it was kind of scary, really.
Looking at your team, and I had a chance to listen more than be there as Nick was there. But, against Sheridan, it sounded like to me that even though they were the better team on Saturday, and it seemed like, everything worked and there was things that were working against Cheyenne's, what are some of the things that you are going back to the drawing board, so to speak, and working on as you get ready for Star Valley coming up on Thursday?
Well, we didn't shoot the ball very well against Sheridan. We were 2 of 20 from 3 and 5 of 13 from the free throw line. They were 18 of 19 from the free throw line. So things like that add up real quick in a big game like that and at the state tournament. So I think we're going to have to get, we're going to have to shoot it a little better, and we're going to have to shoot from the free throw line a lot better.
And, Coach, I want to get your thoughts on something that happened during the regular season that we were not able to get to you, at least before, but it happened during at least one of the contests is at Story Gym during the regular season of one Eric Oliver, at least breaking the East High school record of James Johnson's school record of most points there for Cheyenne East. Just give us your thoughts on being able to coach a player of that caliber who has had that much talent, being able to give that much talent to your Thunderbird team, and, again, hopefully we'll bring another championship back to the Cheyenne East, at least at the school.
Yeah, he's one of those kids that, we talk about as coaches. You probably only get one of those in a lifetime. Just an amazing citizen, amazing kid around our school, amazing basketball player. He could score in every phase of the game, and that's what makes him so tough. And he's a quiet scorer, how he goes about his business. The referees love him around the state just because he's such a good kid on the floor. His teammates love him. Coaches love him. So you really got to hand it to a kid like that because, a lot of times when they're that good, they can have a little edge to them that people don't like, but he's just really handled himself really well. And as a coaching staff, we're very lucky to have him.
Rusty Horsley, the head coach of the Cheyenne East Thunderbirds, joining us here in Wyoming Sports Talk today. Coach, you've been to many a state tournament, and again, you've had that opportunity to bring home that state championship banner as the head coach of then the Lady T-Birds. How do you, as the head coach, kind of keep the guys from, not pressuring themselves? Again, this is not your first dance. You've been there. You did it. You done it. You're at Casper College that first day against Star Valley. How do you keep these guys focused on, hey, one at a time?
Well, and that's we talked about that tonight in our film session, and we also said, what happens to kids sometimes at the state tournament is, they play ahead of themselves a little bit. So if they miss a shot, then they start pressing, and things go downhill real quick when they do that. And we just talked about, kind of keep your composure during the game. Basketball's a game of runs. They're going to make their runs. We got to work through it defensively for the nerves and get rolling that way. And anytime we feel pressure or doing anything, then that's when you really got to rely on your defense to take care of that. You can't push yourself offensively. Things will fall where they should if you take the game as it comes.
And, Coach, finally, again, I've seen many a state tournament over the years. It's the 5 that you throw on the floor, but also, too, looking down at number 6, 7, and 8. Those are always key pieces, and these are parts of the puzzle that definitely have to fit in, and they have to fit in right as they come into the ball game.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot. Over the years, there's always been a kid that has been kind of quiet throughout the season, but then in the tournament makes a big splash, and that's kind of what we want. We want some of those kids to come out and get ready to roll, but it's always somebody that you never really thought would really help you in a big situation, and that's the way it is. So everybody's got to stay ready to play, and our kids have done a good job with that all year. I think some of our bench players has really stepped up. Jake Rail made a big 3 against Thunder Basin in a timely manner, and so we've had a lot of kids step. Onyx Jackson's done a good job. Aiden Colgan, so we've had kids step up and do a great job when they have to.
Well, Coach, we, Nick and myself, we wish you all the best. I know, again, you got Star Valley noon at Sweet Erickson Gymnasium at Casper College, and again, you play them one at a time, so we wish you all the best, and hopefully Championship Saturday you are there back again on the Event Center floor.
Well, thanks a bunch. I really appreciate it.
All right, Rusty Horsley joining us on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We are going to take a time out. We got more hoops to talk about as we will chat with head coach Brian Ortmeier of the LCCC Lady Gold Eagles after these words here on 1480 KRAE.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Wyoming's most successful and cost-effective nutrition program for women, infants, and children is on the move, and we want you to help us celebrate at our new location. Join Laramie County WIC for a ribbon-cutting ceremony on April 4th from 4 to 6 p.m. at 421 East 17th Street in Cheyenne. Refreshments will be served, no RSVP is required, and everyone is welcome. For more information about this event or Laramie County WIC services, please call 307-634-6180.
AJ Miller here for Kia of Cheyenne. We're starting our 14th year and still strive to put you first by making it easy for you to own a new Kia. Right now, we can help get you into a 2019 Kia Sorento comparably equipped for less than Toyota Highlander, Jeep Grand Cherokee, or Ford Edge. The 2019 Kia Sorento comes standard with power-heated exterior mirrors, rear camera display, remote keyless entry, and more. Come into Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
At Platte Valley Bank, we understand that you have a busy life, and that means you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online and mobile banking with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, and mobile deposit, so you can bank how you want when you want to. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
You can count on Platte Valley Bank. Community banking for you.
Hello, this is Pastor Nathaniel Ensley with Blessed Hope Baptist Church in Burns, Wyoming, and I would like to invite you to listen to our weekly broadcast entitled Hope for Today, right here on 1480 KRAE, every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. Our goal during each broadcast is to bring you a simple and short Bible truth that will be a help to you. Sure hope you can tune in. God bless you.
Cheyenne Urological has been the cornerstone of urinary care to Cheyenne and its surrounding communities for over 20 years, with doctors Bryant, Everett, Gajewski, and their highly trained staff providing top-quality treatment for prostate cancer, urinary tract infections, kidney stones, impotence, and incontinence. Cheyenne Urological is now offering cutting-edge robotic surgery. So call Cheyenne Urological at 635-4131 for compassionate, expert urinary care. That's 635-4131.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
And welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk today as we get a chance now to talk more hoops, and this time it'll be on the ladies' side. It will be the LCCC Lady Golden Eagles going up to Scottsbluff Western Nebraska Community College, as it will be in the Cougar Palace coming up Thursday afternoon. 1 o'clock tap time against the NJC Lady Plainsmen. With us is Brian Ortmeier. Well, you know, one of the things is I'm going to get started here, Coach, and Nick posted it. Matter of fact, he posted the bracket on our Wyoming Sports Talk Today site. Former athletic director Scott Noble hit a like there, and I wrote the comment. Thank you, Scott. And in 3 short years. Look at the ladies program now as it's vying for a Region 9 championship.
And what I had to remind him yesterday as well, too, of, it does fall on Scott Noble, but also, too, of where we're at right now with LCCC Lady Golden Eagles basketball. Also, too, it falls on your shoulders as well, too, of where, again, this historical season where, hey, hosting a playoff season, potential for 20 wins at least coming up. And, again, you're moving on in that Region 9 tournament. Also, too, it goes kudos to you, Coach.
It's a little bit of both. But, again, Scott was instrumental in bringing the program in, bringing you in, and then again the rest is history, as Nick is mentioning. So kind of it's a happy emotional time, I guess, over there at LCCC.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a great way to put it. I haven't really, once our season, at some point, once it does end, I'll have a little more time to kind of sit back and really reflect on it and kind of look at it that same way. But, with us being in the thick of it, we're still heading into the tournament. Hopefully we got a lot of basketball left ahead of us. But you guys are exactly right. Without Scott, giving me the opportunity to be able to come here and start the program from scratch when they did bring it back 3 years ago, it's been an amazing opportunity. And it's been fun to see where it's come from that first season to now. And like I said, hopefully we have a lot of basketball left to play.
Well, we're talking about a program that was out of business for about 25 years. So you had to, take the reins real quick, start getting after, going up and down the state and going into Colorado. Now you've had that opportunity to open up different areas. And again, with the situation like the ladies right now vying in this Region 9 tournament, does that open up other areas for you as well, to you and Coach Ronaldo to take a look at other players?
Yeah, it definitely does. We're looking a little more at the international scene this year for recruiting. Just again, we keep everything pretty open, whether it's local recruiting. A lot of our neighboring states have some good talent. And then again, also the international scene is something that we look at as well. But I think, again, you hit it right on the head. Same thing with us not having a program for 25 years. There's a lot of catching up you have to do. Because, again, when they got rid of LCCC athletics, I would have been roughly about 6 years old. So, again, you miss that stretch of history, tradition, that past that a lot of kids can look up and say, okay, they've had a history of winning for the last 15 to 20 years. That's something, again, we've got to continue to build and establish. So for us to get there as quick as we have, again, we've got to continue to find that consistency from year to year to year. So we're not taking any steps back. But, again, it's amazing to see how it's happened so quickly, and it should continue to open those doors.
Again, continue that tradition, or at least start a new one. And again, what we're doing this season, at least what your team is doing, hey, again, it's been, as I've said, historical. We're being able to host your first ever playoff game, now continue on in the Region 9 tournament. And let's talk about that game coming up this Thursday, where at least Region 9 tournament, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, if you want to make it that championship game. So back to back to back, at least contests you will see potentially. But this is where, a little abnormal for LCCC at this point in time, where you've faced opponents, at least you know what to expect at opponents, especially playing in Region 9 North. Now we have the unknown of, we have not seen this entire season, of NJC, the Lady Plainsmen coming into town, or at least to Scotts Bluff. How worried, again, obviously with film, we got all this technology, you can scout these teams in and out, but you've not played them yet. How kind of worried are you, at least so to speak, of, again, we don't know what to expect of the Lady Plainsmen here.
Yeah, again, I think the best way to put it in perspective is you've got to beat 3 really good teams in 3 days. For us to go through this region tournament, we've got to beat 3 teams that have at least 20-plus wins. Those are probably, if you were taking betting odds, it's probably looking like a path of NJC, Casper, Western Nebraska if you take all the top seeds. So, again, we'd have to play 3 very, very quality teams, have to beat all 3 of them. So, again, it's for us and anybody else in the tournament, it's a neutral site outside of playing Western Nebraska. So, again, you're shooting at different rims. You're playing in a different facility. We're lucky in that we are one of the closer teams to there, so we don't have to spend a ton of time traveling, whether it's you're traveling back and forth or, all those little things and all those little details. Now, we haven't played in their gym where NJC has had 1 game. But, again, when you look at the crossover, obviously the toughest opponent is Western Nebraska. I think they're probably the favorite heading into the tournament. But, we struggled with McCook, and then we also struggled a little with Otero. So you got to just take your pick and line up and play. And I think personally, when you look at their matchups with us, they start guards that I believe are 5'4", 5'7", 5'8". They go 5'11", and then 5'9" at the low post. So they match up really well with us.
Yeah, I would say on paper, this is probably one of the better teams that you're going to size-wise match up with. But this is a veteran team. And we talked about it on our postgame show, and I remember when I was putting the starting lineups together here this weekend with NJC, I said, oh, yeah, I remember her. So, again, this is a team that puts up about 77 points a game. this for you, I would assume, is something maybe to your liking. This is going to be a game where you're going to pick them up, put them down, and again, launch them from beyond the arc.
Yeah, it really comes down to, again, how are the guards going to defend and how are the guards going to shoot the ball. I really believe that's going to be the difference maker in this game. If we can outshoot them and get enough stops, again, kind of contain their point guards, some of their shooting guards, that average anywhere from 14 to 15 points a game, I think, again, it's a team that you can kind of slow down and frustrate. So, personally, like I said, looking at the matchups, you're going to see a good team regardless of who you play, but I think size-wise, and again, just based on how they like to play, it matches up pretty well with us.
You very rarely drop into the zone, a 2-3 zone, very rarely.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something that you may add a little more wrinkle to getting ready for NJC, or are you pretty happy with the man-on-man defense?
Yeah, we're going to use both. Again, I don't want to talk too much detail about what our game plan is, but, we did watch them and see how they're going to rotate versus the zone. We watched them kind of how they're going to play against man. They seem to go a little more dribble drive and attack the basket when you're in man, and they seem to stand around a little more when you go zone. But they've got a couple kids that shoot it 35 to 40% from three, so, again, you got to kind of pick your poison a little bit, and I think what you'll probably see is a little bit of both.
Something that we asked Coach Rusty Horsley a few minutes ago, I'll ask you as well, Coach, where, again, coming up this weekend, 3 days in a row of straight contests. Now, these girls at least used to it, at least in their respective states, whether it's regional tournaments or state championship, at least tournaments, they know how to play back-to-back-to-back games. Now, college, obviously, from what we've talked with a lot of them, hey, it's a different beast. It's, where a lot of them are a lot more tired than they were playing in their high school ranks. But how is it that... How are you going to keep this team focused on, hey, we need to focus on here Thursday, 1 o'clock Northeastern, not focus on what could be potential Friday matchup of Casper or that Saturday matchup of, hey, we got to worry about the Lady Cougars of Western Nebraska. How do you keep a focus on, hey, here's day one, here's game one, this is what we need to do?
Yeah, I think the best way to approach that is that's just kind of how we've approached the last month and a half. Again, going back to our trip to Western Wyoming, we talked about the seedings and how, this is our focus. We do this, and then we put ourselves in position here. And then the next game is, okay, now we have this opponent. We have to do this. This puts us here now. So we very much have taken that one-game approach to this point, and that's really all you can do with the tournament because, again, you're not promised the next day at all. So, again, we're going to talk about nothing but NJC. If everything falls into place and we move on to Friday, then we'll look and see what we got ahead of us Friday.
And, again, continue with that NJC theme, and I'll ask you, Coach, of Thursday. Late in the season, bodies might be a little aching, little injuries, maybe flu bug, as we've heard a few teams suffering from sickness, but give us the kind of Blue Cross Blue Shield report for the Lady Golden Eagles of how are we doing overall health?
Yeah, we seem healthy. Again, you hear about the flu going around the school, and I think we've avoided that pretty well to this point. And, in terms of you're always going to have the bumps and bruises, and I would say that's pretty typical for what we're dealing with right now. But everybody's ready to go. Everybody's, I would say, about as close as to 100% as they can be.
As you step onto the floor in the Cougar Palace on Thursday afternoon, and again, you step on the floor with your Lady Golden Eagles, and again, they have been to the high school championships. I'm assuming probably everybody on your team has had some type of state championship experience, but it's as Nick mentioned, it's a different beast. As we move now into the collegiate ranks, you yourself, this is going to be first time with the LCCC banner across their chest as they step on the floor. How do you, as a coach, keep those butterflies in check and also try to keep them keep their emotions in check because again, what's going to happen when they get on the floor. Everybody gets excited about this.
Yeah, I would. This is the one way I look at it. I think the game time is going to take a little bit of that away, just because, again, we've got that 1 o'clock. We're the first game of the day. Again, it's during the workday, so it's probably not going to be a huge crowd. So some of that takes a little bit of that pressure and that energy away. I would just be willing to wager that again, we probably had a little more energy and probably a bigger crowd than what we're going to see on Thursday at home on Friday when we played the last round. So getting through that experience, kind of fighting off a team that's hung with us and having that pressure already, for us at this point, we shouldn't be feeling the pressure. And again, we'll probably try and play that underdog card a little bit because, again, we are one of the lower, as a 3 seed, we're playing the 2 and then potentially playing 1 seed. So, again, we shouldn't really have a ton of pressure. And I think, again, with the sophomore leadership that we do have, they're going to be able to carry us through pretty well.
Interesting that you mentioned about Friday night. And again, I was actually more surprised. I know Nick was busy back and forth with the regional tournament, and we had all kinds of things going on. But the crowd really, the campus crowd and parents, relatives all stepped up to the plate and came out and really supported your Lady Golden Eagles.
Yeah, again, you always worry about those things with regional tournament going on, high school basketball. Again, if you don't have that double header, sometimes that can take away a little bit of your crowd too. So, I was really pleased with the crowd that we had. And, again, I give them a lot of kudos for coming out to support the ladies. And, it'd be great to have that in Scottsbluff. But, again, realistically, you got to look at the game times. But we definitely appreciate the crowd that we did have.
He's stuck with us. That's the best we could do on short notice.
Well, and other entities who might come with us to Scottsbluff. But, again, at least for LCCC, especially what I've been receiving on social media, where at least people are at least curious about when you're going to be playing, when they can tune in or can attend, where it's going to be at. Right now, where you talked about earlier in this conversation of where we got to get on the map compared to a Casper, Eastern Wyoming, Western Nebraska, all these other teams of Region 9 that have established themselves, at least now with what the season has become or how you've kind of slowly built up the Lady Golden Eagles, you are making that footprint now across the state of Wyoming, across Colorado, the Region 9 area where folks are very curious about what you're doing right here in the city of Cheyenne.
Yeah, and that's just part of the process. Again, is you continue to build it and it gets stronger, more people are going to take notice and see what we're doing here. So, again, I give a lot of credit to the girls and the work and the time and the effort that they put into it. And, again, we're able to kind of use once they're able to build it up from the ground up with the players and what they put in place, we're able to kind of use that as we move forward from year to year to year, whether it's recruiting or, again, like you said, just getting on that national scene.
We are talking with head coach Brian Ortmeier of the LCCC Lady Golden Eagles. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back with more after these words here on 1480 KRAE.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY FM and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Capital Lumber is number 1 in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
For over 50 years, Capital Lumber Company has offered a full line of hardware and lumber selections. Plenty of materials, even for the do-it-yourselfer. So talk with one of the many experts today at Capital Lumber Company. Capital Lumber Company is the best in the region, and they are your true value hardware store. Lumber One in Cheyenne. Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue. There are a lot of things that can go wrong with your vehicle, and most of it is a minor problem. And John at Shine Auto Repair and Service knows the right way to get you back on track. So with temperatures heading south, now's the perfect time to winterize your car or truck. This can be done with a simple oil change, maybe a tune-up, checking the thermostat, brakes, and shocks. It's the little and important repairs that Cars has performed on all makes of vehicles now for over 25 years to keep you motoring along in any season. For an appointment, call 632-0498 or stop on by at 604 West Lincoln Way. Shine Auto Repair and Service, open Monday through Friday.
Wisdom, expertise, compassion, qualities that are the foundation of Cheyenne Urological, with Doctors Bryant, Everett, Gajewski, and their highly trained staff providing top quality treatment for prostate cancer, urinary tract infections, kidney stones, impotence, and incontinence. You can trust Cheyenne Urological to give you the highest quality urinary care. Now offering the latest in robotic surgery, call Cheyenne Urological at 635-4131. That's 635-4131.
1480 KRAE is your home for live play-by-play coverage of high school basketball and football. Hi, this is Nick Brody inviting you to hear all the play-by-play calls of East, Central, and South football and basketball. You'll hear the conference action along with the postseason, and during the basketball season, 1480 KRAE features both boys and girls games. Catch all the exciting calls on AM 1480 KRAE, also streaming the games worldwide on the web at 1480krae.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 29. For tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 11. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly cloudy once again with a slight chance of snow with highs around 41. And on Wednesday night, it'll be cloudy with snow likely with lows around 19.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame.
Let's play ball!
You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today as we talk with LCCC Lady Golden Eagles head coach Brian Ortmeier as they get ready for the Lady Plainsmen against NJC coming up Thursday afternoon. A game that will be at 1 o'clock. And I'm not, because you told me
I was just, well, again, how we'll reference to what's going to happen this Thursday is we're working with Scottsbluff with Western Nebraska where they plan to at least do their own streaming thing out there. So they're going to take advantage of that internet access out there, but they're going to try and help us out, at least for Thursday, at least I'll just say in large, at least this weekend with LCCC to at least potentially bring you at least the visual side on Periscope of the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel. Again, LCCC's contest, they're live from Scottsbluff. As we've known from carrying the men, at least our other way to bring the broadcast live does not work there in the Cougar Palace. It's pretty tough to get those Verizon, at least rays into the Palace. So, again, hopefully, once we get there, we'll know a definitive answer.
Brian, let's go back to earlier conversation. You were talking about internationals, and we've had this discussion before. I notice this on a lot of rosters that Spain is one of the key countries that brings young ladies at least into the Region 9, whether it's north or south. Germany, Serbia, but I would say for the most part it's Spain that has that international flair here in Region 9. Why?
You know, some of it has to do with, and this is probably the biggest reason why, a lot of the foreign players that come from a country like Spain, they have an equivalency test called a TOEFL test that you have to have a certain number, or again, for like LCCC, you have to have a 61, and it just grades how well you speak the English language. How well do you write? How well do you speak it? So for us, with us having that number, it makes it a little more difficult to get kids that don't speak English very well. And again, from different countries, I think there's only about 5 or 6 that we automatically waive that test score. But again, if a kid doesn't meet that score, we can't accept them into LCCC. What you see with a lot of other 2-year schools in our region and in our area is they don't have that score. They don't have that test. So what they have is what they refer to as an ESL program, English as a second language. So they can take those kids on. They learn English as they go, and that's kind of how they become eligible then, and then they transfer on to a 4-year school. So, again, if you have that ESL program, my understanding is LCCC used to have it, but got rid of it 4 or 5 years ago. And again, it has impacted some of the recruitment in terms of being able to get into some of those areas. But that's why you see a lot of it. They can't get into a 4-year school right away, so they have to come over and qualify.
Let's talk about some of the European influence that I've seen on other programs. For example, EWC. I see that influence. Matter of fact, we could even use Mateo Zovko on the guy side.
Yeah.
Very aggressive basketball
Yeah.
presence on the floor. Not afraid to go inside, battle with the tall timber, take it to the bucket. Very very basketball savvy young ladies that come from Europe over here.
Yeah, I would say one of two things. If again you're looking at those types of players, offensively they're extremely savvy. I mean, they make amazing passes. They see the floor well. They know how to offensively play at least the style of basketball that you're going to see in the U.S. They make amazing post moves. They can, you're seeing crossovers and Euro steps and all that kind of stuff. The one area I would say gets you in a little trouble is defense. I think, again, you see some of those players, they don't play as hard defensively as probably what they could. But, again, even saying that, a lot of the girls that you do see in our region that come from Europe and Spain and a lot of those different, those countries, those foreign places, they do play really well. They're very consistent players. I know, again, just looking at our region, the Paskova kid from Casper ended up making the all-region team. And then, again, the Radenkova girl, I believe they finished 1 and 2 in the voting. So it definitely has a big influence. And if you can get a couple of those players, I think, again, they're just maybe a little more mature because they've been playing against a higher level of basketball for a long time.
And I'm glad you mentioned that with all Region 9, at least teams.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to mention, as we did on our broadcast, and you had a chance, I do believe, with your team, but that congratulations to go out to Gabby O'Connor, who did make it first team, at least all Region 9. The lone representative, and we thought it was kind of a snub for LCCC, where, at least Central Wyoming, a team that's getting 2 representatives, where LCCC, the higher seed, only gets 1 representative. But is that something that where you got to talk with your team and say, hey, congratulations, Gabby, but is that something you could use as fuel to the fire of, hey, Carly, you didn't get that all Region 9, or, Jakia, you didn't get that recognition, or any players across.
Did they have second team and honorable mentions?
No, our region just does the top 10, and it's voted on by our coaches in our league. And I would say that's the one thing that that does get a little. It gets difficult to get multiple players on the Region 9 team. So with our sub-region, I believe Casper ended up placing 3. You end up with Central Wyoming with 2. That knocks off a lot of that's half your Region 9 team right away. So to have something like that happen, I thought we had a couple players that probably did get snubbed a little bit between Carly O'Brien. Haley Anderson was another player who actually led Region 9 just within the Region 9 games, all 14 that we played, led the region in scoring. So I think with her situation probably hurt her a little bit being a freshman this year. I think, again, you look at our list and all 10 were sophomores. So that's probably something, again, we'll talk about in the spring at the spring meeting. And, again, I think we had 1 or 2 teams that got left off. So, again, we're fortunate to have Gabby on there. She is the first Region 9 all-region player that we've had. And, again, it seems like the more you nominate, and then, again, it waters down your voting, too, if you kind of have a pretty balanced team.
Well, like where I was going with my question there, especially with Gabby O'Connor, again, congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
She deserves that, at least recognition, but where the term that you use going into NJC, or at least this second part of the tournament, underdogs. Is that something where you went to your team after that win against the Lady Rustlers and said, hey, congratulations, Gabby, the rest of you got snubbed. Let's take that advantage where we're not getting that respect across the region, and let's prove them why we are the better team, or why we need to be at least a team to keep eyes on through this Region 9 tournament.
Sure. I think, again, you can use stuff like that. You can use the underdog role. You can use the snub thing. There's a lot of different things that you can try to use to inspire your team. But I think ultimately, for the region tournament, you're going to have a lot of Division I and Division II scouts there. But secondly, you're right there on the doorstep of going to the national tournament. I think that should be motivation enough for the team to look at it and say, if we win 3 games in 3 days, we get a chance to go to the big party, the big dance. So, again, there's a lot of different things that you can use, and I think for us, again, looking at it as an underdog, but also as that approach that we're here, let's let it fly, let's see what can happen.
How about the situation, too, we were talking about it yesterday with LCCC playing against CWC on Friday. So you got a little battle tested against the Lady Rustlers, where NJC was inactive. So, and again, I'm trying to throw anything out here, advantage in favor of the Lady Gold Eagles. Was it better to get battle tested last Friday in preparation for NJC this weekend?
Yeah.
Or this, on Thursday?
I believe so. The only real advantage you have when you get that extra week is just a rest. If you have kids that are injured, again, they don't have to play that extra game, so they can stay away from an injury. I know they were up here scouting us at the game, so there's a couple advantages that they have. But again, I think anytime you take 2 weeks off, you're going to have a little bit of rust. And not only that, you're not playing at home; you're playing at a neutral site, so it's a little bit of a different situation for them having that much time off. So it does make a difference.
With the game plan in preparation for this weekend, or excuse me, on Thursday afternoon against NJC. And again, you're not going to divulge what you're going to show against NJC. Is it late in the season now to throw in new wrinkles, or these already have been in play, and you say this is what we can use against them better than CWC?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of both. And there's things that you'll go back to, stuff that we maybe tried against them last year that worked well, that you'll bring back out, to maybe use again against them again, if, there's a couple sets that I can think of when we played them the first time last year that they really struggled with. So there's some things that we may go back to and try and put in quick. But, again, you don't really want to try and slow your team down too much this time of the year. Again, we want to try and just execute the things that we've been doing really well over the last 4 or 5 games. But you'll still use a wrinkle just to try and throw something new at them.
I'm just curious, a tongue-in-cheek question for you, Coach. Have you noticed any gray hairs or taken extra Tylenol by chance due to the fact your team, as I've dubbed them this season, the Cardiac Kids, where, we saw it this past Friday where, hey, we had a good, sizable lead, and then it trickled on down to a 2-pointer. It got nail-biter there at the waning moments, but they took care of business and got the 9-point victory. But, for a team like that, though, what's kind of your thoughts on? Is it thrilling? Is it pretty much just heart-pounding? I mean, how do you deal with it where, again, here we are now into postseason, and it's still kind of continuing happening with this Lady Golden Eagles team?
Sure. Well, that's why I always say I keep my hair shorter so I can't tell how much is falling out during the season. But, I think after you play in so many close games, you just get kind of used to it by the end of the year. If it's the first or second time it happens in a season, there's some jitters and there's some butterflies as the score gets closer and closer. But I guess probably the saving grace I had is I knew I had about 4 or 5 timeouts left late in the game. So as it got closer and closer and closer, I knew I could take one, change some things, take one, change some things. Where CWC had to use some of theirs early in the game. They didn't have a lot of depth. They were getting tired. And that's probably the other reason that I felt pretty good in terms of where we were getting, even though the score was getting closer. Anytime there was a dead ball, number 2 was about, crouched up on the ground, just, almost sitting on the gym floor because she was so tired. So, again, you could kind of see that they were pretty worn out. And again, once you kind of get them to that point, I had a feeling that our girls could, coming out of the timeout, we're going to make another run there to finish the game.
Well, your team has battle-tested it again. If it comes down to a close-knit contest against at least any day of this Region I tournament, now, again, your team is ready for those moments and know how to at least prepare themselves.
Well, you were talking with head coach Rusty Horsley of Cheyenne East. It's regional tournament time, state tournament time. Again, as a coach, and talking with both you and head coach Jason Ficca of the Golden Eagles, recruiting never takes a day off.
Yeah.
So you're prepping your team for the Lady Plainsmen, but also, too, you're kind of keeping an eye on what's going out east, west, what's going on in Colorado, maybe in Utah. You just can't tear yourself apart into 5 different pieces, Coach. How you keeping up on all of that high school talent that's being showcased right now?
You gotta try and balance it the best you can. So that's probably been the most different thing compared to the last 2 years is advancing now. Again, it's a little less time to get out to watch some of the Colorado State tournaments. The Wyoming State tournament, again, if we continue to advance, it's going to be happening at the same time with the 4A and the 3A. So there's different ways that you can do it. There's certain video services that you can go back and watch a lot of the games. Again, this late in the season, there's a lot of kids that we've seen, so it's just kind of following up and watching them on film another time or two. And there's going to be a ton of all-star games coming up over the next 3-4 weeks. So there's a lot of time.
And with the winning of the program right now, and again, the building here over the last 3 years,
Yeah.
again from first year to second to third year, you're also getting inquiries now too. As I remember, you were telling us that young ladies are emailing you to possibly have. What I guess what do? Do they send you clips, or do you ask them to send film? What?
A little bit of both. They'll send film ahead of time with their list of accomplishments and some of that. But yeah, you definitely get some of both. You get some kids that they'll see the score, they'll check certain areas of the country just because it's a place they'd like to go play. So again, you'll get some of those that just kind of randomly show up. And again, as you have more success from year to year, you start getting more of those.
All righty, Coach. Well, we wish you all the best.
Sure.
We will
Thank you, guys.
See you Thursday afternoon in Scottsbluff.
And keep us busy this weekend as well, too. I hear Texas is pretty nice around this time of the year. Just saying.
Okay.
Just saying, Coach.
Hey, trust me, I'd love to. I think that's 2 weeks or something like that. So we'll see. We'll see if we can get down there.
You got to play them one at a time.
That's right.
Matter of fact, you need to have the young ladies watch Hoosiers. That's
Yeah.
just throwing it
Yeah.
out there. Just throwing it out there. All righty, Brian Ortmeier joined us here on 1480 KRAE as we're getting ready to wrap things up. Want to remind you, coming up this evening, it is our Golden Age of Radio Theater.